In the upcoming segment of It's About Money, we'll be talking to Mary Bassett, owner of May Beads. It's a fun business that she has located on Park Avenue in Rochester, New York. Stay tuned for a fun show. Hello and welcome to another edition of It's About Money. I'm Nannette Nocon and thank you for joining us. Today we have an exciting program with our guest Mary Bassett, who is the founder and owner of May Beads on Park Avenue. Mary, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Nannette. It's great to be here.
I love your stores. You know, I'm always there.
Thank you.
Tell me about how you got started with making jewelry from beads.
Well, I started making jewelry for myself. I was always looking for just the perfect piece to go with a particular outfit, and so often I would find something that would do but wasn't just quite right. So I started making jewelry for myself, and then I started making it as gifts for other people as they were admiring what I was wearing and, you know, like the way that things were tied together. And I started making jewelry for other people as gifts, and then after that, people were asking me to make things for them. They were willing to buy them, and I said, "Gee, I think I've got something here." So I started doing it as a business.
So you've been doing this since 2002. So it's several years already, which has got wonderful staying power.
Yes, actually, I started out of my home. I had shows that I would do in other people's homes. They would invite me in and invite a group of people over, and we would have a show. There would be incentives for the host or hostess to purchase jewelry based on the amount of jewelry that was sold at the show. We'd have wine and cheese and have an event. And I would also host events at my house during the holiday season, have folks come over and, again, have some sort of hors d'oeuvres and a different kind of
drinks and stuff. So it's really a way for everybody to just kind of get together and have fun,
right,
and check out the fun jewelry.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, at some point, you have your shop at Park Avenue now. And what made you decide to do that? Because, I mean, it's like a fixed expense, you know.
Right.
So what made you decide to do that? Was it a lot of parties already and then you wanted to?
Well, it got to a point where people were calling me and wanting a piece of jewelry for a particular event, so I would set things up at my home on an as-needed basis.
I see.
And it was getting to be quite cumbersome because I had a lot of displays. I had everything. I needed it to be just so. And so I really wanted to have a place where I could have my things set up on display, where people could come and feel comfortable coming. And I started thinking, well, gee, if I could just find a spot, not a large spot, but something that was convenient and in a location that people would be comfortable coming to, that was what I wanted to do. But it had to be just the right location. It couldn't be, it took me a while to find something because I really wanted Park Avenue area. I felt that the people that visit the area, they do so not just to go to a particular spot, but they make an event out of, you know, strolling along the avenue, visiting different places. So I thought there would be some opportunities not only for my existing customers, but for some new folks and to open the door to some new opportunities.
That's great. It's really nice to have thought about doing your market research and the location, because that's truly important if you want some traffic from the area.
Right.
So that's great.
Yeah, and I really wanted, it was important that not only the location as far as the street and the neighborhood, but also the type of building that I was in. My jewelry tends to be, and I tend to focus on Victorian kinds of themes and decorating and all, so I really wanted an older property that had some character to it, and I wanted to be in the front area so that I had the street view and people could walk directly by and look into the shop. And also it was important to have parking that was convenient, and there's not a lot of that in the Park Avenue neighborhood. Parking can be an issue, so I really wanted to have something that had a parking area, which I have in the back, and
that's great.
To make it as convenient as possible for people.
Now you're open 3 days a week and by appointment as well.
Yes, 2 nights a week from 5:30 until 7:30 and Saturdays from 10 until 4 and by appointment. And I actually do a lot of appointments. Most of my customers are repeat customers, and they're looking for something specific for a specific event, and they will call me and we'll meet at a time that's convenient to them. And it may not necessarily be at the shop. It may be at their home, or it may be at the dress shop where they're purchasing a dress for a special event, and I might meet them there with some ideas.
I see. Also, so we got a bag, business ready to go.
Yes. Beads in a bag.
Yeah, beads in a bag. There we go. That's really great. So really, you were very thoughtful about the location, the availability to other people. And one of the cool things, too, is that you have a flag in front of your place when you're open.
Yes.
Which is so visible. Like when you're driving, it's like, oh, you know, sometimes people park the car and then they're so disappointed that the door is closed. It's so wonderful that there's that sign that says open. So I'm like, oh, Mary's open. I could stop by instead of stopping by, parking the car, getting out. What made you decide to do that? Was it something that kind of people were doing the same thing that, you know, we knock and then it was closed, or?
Well, actually, it was difficult to. As far as putting signage on the building, the only option that I had was to put a sign right in the front facing out to the street. And unless you turn and look at the sign, you don't know that I'm there. So I was trying to think of something creative where people could see as they're walking down the street, because I'm in a location where I'm between two kind of business hubs, if you will, on Goodman Street and Oxford Street. So people are consistently just passing by to go from one area to the other. Right. And I wanted something to catch their eye. And frankly, when people come in, I ask them, you know, how they happened upon the shop, and they quite frequently say that it's because they saw the flag out there. So that was the idea behind that, being able to see it from a distance and seeing it while you're walking forward. I also put a sandwich type board out front when I'm there so that people can see that from the street. And I've actually had people driving by in cars stop and come in as a result of that.
That's great. So you're trying to attract the customers, have the visual appeal.
Yes.
Because like you said, it's set back a little bit, harder to see until you're specifically looking for the place.
Right.
Now, what made you decide specific hours? You know, like the reason I'm asking all these questions is most retailers are open, like, you know, 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. And it's quite a lot of hours to be involved in the retail business in that manner. But you're managing well with a limited number of hours, but you have the appointments available too. What made you decide to have those?
Well, the customers that I typically serve actually work during the day, and they're available at night in the evenings and on weekends. So I'm trying to match their schedules. I just picked 2 nights during the week and thought I would try that out and see how that worked, and it seems to be working well. You know, like I said, I tend to be a destination, so people will come when I'm open, and if those hours don't work, I'll meet them during lunch or whatever, but they're typically folks that are working during the day, so I wouldn't expect that they would be visiting the shop during the daytime.
How long did it take you from the time that you started selling jewelry that you make until the time you said, I really need a spot to have my jewelry displayed?
I established the business in 2002, and it was a couple of years, because I was making sure that, you know, what I was investing in the company and what I was getting back in return was, you know, would warrant actually investing in a space. And after a couple of years, I had a good idea of how things were going and what I could afford, and, you know, what would make sense from you know, balancing things out from a financial perspective. So it was about 2.5 years after I established the business that I set up shop, and I've been in my space now for just about 3 years.
That's great. That's great. So it's been the only space that you've had since you
Yes.
decided. Okay, and it's a perfect location, like you said. It's attracts a lot of people, you know, in terms of curb appeal with the flag and, you know, the sandwich board that you have. So, what What got you? I mean, you love beads all along and share people. What makes you decide, like, I'm going to buy a certain type of bead? I mean, you've got a lot of beautiful different items here, and like you said, it has the influence of Victorian, but you do have some also contemporary work, which is wonderful. But what makes you decide, like, I'm going to buy that bead, put that bead together? Do you have a vision? Are you inspired by something, and how does that work?
A couple of things. One, as I mentioned, how I started doing this to begin with, is that if I have an outfit, typically an outfit will inspire what I'm going to design to go with that outfit. The type of neckline, the colors in the jacket or top or whatever, the style of the piece will kind of dictate what I'm going to design to go with it. In addition, I'm always looking for beads whenever I'm traveling or whatever I'm doing. I'm always looking for beads, and if there's something that's striking from a unique shape or color, size, texture, then I start envisioning what I can do with that bead, whether to make it a focal point or whether to incorporate it into something with several beads that are mixed together or that. So it's either from spotting a particular bead or a piece of jewelry. I quite a bit take jewelry that's been made, old vintage pieces, and take them apart and make them into something else. So I'll look at a piece and I'll say, gee, if only this had this in it, or if only this, was a lariat style with a focal piece at the end versus a round, choker piece. So I'll take something and then remake it into something else.
I see.
Add some beads or add some things to it to embellish it.
Now, do you feel like the beads kind of take over your interest? I mean, it's like
yes.
Travel. You have to be obsessed in some way.
Yes, it is. It's an addiction of sorts, but it's not a bad one. It's it does take over. I am constantly either thinking about things to create or actually creating things. And as you know, I work full time in addition to this. And when I'm not working at my full time job, I'm making beads, and I love it. It's my passion, and that's what keeps me going. It's a nice balance.
Yeah, right. We'll be talking more when we come back, but I just wanted to ask one more question. Do you think this is the kind of business that you'll transition whenever you decide to retire from your full-time job?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, that's great. It's nice to know that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to do was get this established, while I'm working and continuing to work full-time, and then have this as my second career and have it already up and running, and then I can look at different and unique ways to expand my reach when I have more bandwidth to do that.
Sure. Oh, that's fantastic. We're going to take a quick break. Our guest today is Mary Bassett, and we're talking about her jewelry business, making beads. Hang in there, and we'll be right back.
Things can come and go quickly these days, but one thing has been sure and steady, and if you haven't noticed, it's been on the air for over 10 years now. Nannette Nocon has been a Rochester Public Access television fixture. With her highly accredited financial background, viewers are sure to learn some tips of the trade. Her show, It's About Money, has been educating, informing, entertaining, and inspiring viewers since 1996. She and her guests have been giving valuable advice on how to invest, spend, and save your hard-earned money. And who's not interested in money? So tune into your public access station for a new monthly episode of It's About Money for Rochester's finest in finance.
And we're back. Our guest is Mary Bassett, and she's owner of May Beads on Park Avenue in Rochester, New York. So Mary, tell me about the jewelry that you have here. You've got a lot of fun ones. I love this black and white bead and these beads. So tell us a little bit about your designs.
Okay. Well, I mentioned that whenever I find a bead that's striking, I will kind of go from there and create a design with it. And this one in particular, the black, these are actually acrylic beads that are clear, and I just thought that they were very interesting, and they go with a variety of outfits. So you can wear, if you're wearing whatever color, it picks up the color in your outfit. So it's very versatile, and you can wear it with a variety of things. And it's quite a conversation piece with the different designs in the acrylic.
And it's lighter too, being acrylic.
It's very light. Yes, you're surprised because when you pick it up, you're expecting it to be heavy, and it's very lightweight. And most of my jewelry, particularly earrings, they're all very lightweight so that you don't, have the heavy pulling down.
Sure, at the end of the day, it's like, I got to get these earrings out if it's too heavy,
Right.
Yeah.
So, so I keep that in mind. A couple of the other pieces, this colorful piece here is kind of interesting. It's actually 3 long strands of beads that are twisted and folded in half and then just cinched with a clasp at the back. So you can wear it as a short choker piece, and of course with all of the colors. In this particular one, it goes with
sure,
probably
everything.
not anything that it doesn't go with. And you can also wear it just loose without being twisted, so you have 6 strands. Or you can wear each of the strands separately or just together long on a different outfit. So that's very versatile as well. This piece I found when I was in Mexico. This is actually an amethyst set in silver. And these are antique kind of vintage beads that I found to go with it. And that's half the fun, is finding things to match other things. It was quite a trick trying to find this exact shade, because this is a unique shade of amethyst. So,
do you have, like, when you find a piece, you say, oh, gee, I have all the other things that could complement that? Or do you remember all your inventory in your mind?
I believe it or not, I know what I have, and I do remember colors and beads and can say that there's certain things that will go perfect. On the other hand, many times, half of the fun is trying to find the right beads to go with something, and I find that people often will bring to me a piece, maybe a focal point, or a necklace that they are tired of, or the style has since passed, and they'll have me make up something for them that's different, and so then I'll find different beads to go with it, and that's half the fun, is kind of tracking those down.
Oh, sure, give it a fresh look for their jewelry, and it's challenging. Okay.
And this blue one, this is actually lapis, and which is a gemstone, and with crystal in the tassels. And this is one long strand that you can wear just long and just tied once, or you can fold it in half like a scarf and tie it and wear it in shorter for different types of collars. And those are a lot of fun, and I have a variety of styles and colors in that particular lariat style. This necklace, this focal point, I found when I was in Venice in Italy, where I really love the beads in that part of the world. They have just gorgeous, beautiful stones. And in addition to individual beads, I've found several focal points and just find the beads to go with them. And kind of, these pieces I like to stand out kind of on their own and just complement them with a couple beads that draw out some of the colors there.
Sure.
And then I like to find some fun beads, and that's what the kind of purple color, I really like I'm trying to, as you mentioned, venture out from just what I typically would wear into other things that I do like, and I like to see them on other people, and the chunkier kind of jewelry is really kind of coming in now, so I'm trying to branch out into some larger, more bolder pieces. And this one I liked particularly because it's got the beads that complement it in the unique shape, which I also drew in for the bracelet and the earrings, which I didn't bring all of the accessories here, but I have bracelets and earrings that match just about all of my pieces, so that people have a complete look, and I think that's something that is important.
Sure. And you've got a Swarovski set there too.
Yes, the gold crystal, and that piece is a simple lariat and bracelet set, and it's designed so that it can be adjusted based on if you want to wear it inside a collar or outside a turtleneck or something of that nature. But I love the crystals are just really brilliant and really have an elegance to them. I tend to lean towards crystals and pearls. You'll see I've got glass pearls here with crystals. This is a 2-strand lariat that is just flipped over one time, and also freshwater pearls, which this particular piece has the black freshwater pearls that I found in Hawaii, which are kind of neat, mixed with the white freshwater pearls. And this particular piece is very versatile in that you can wear it as one long piece, and you've got the two kind of focal points up near your shoulders, or you can take this piece off and wear it as a bracelet, and then shorten the necklace and have more of a choker style.
That's great. So it's got a lot of different ways to wear that. That's very unique. That's terrific. Now, what happens, like when you prepare a set and somebody says, I'm just going to buy the earrings and the bracelet? Do you get like disappointed because now it's not a complete set, or
no,
you just make up something else?
Not at all.
How it works. Okay.
Not at all. I'll either make up something else to match it, or oftentimes it's interesting because everyone is so individual in what they wear, and some people only wear necklaces and earrings, never bracelets, vice versa. Some want everything to match perfectly. Some want maybe just a little different twist. They might just want to pick up a color and not have it,
All
so
the same.
perfect. Right. So everybody is so different, and that's what I think, really is unique about what I offer to my customers is a really customized, personal designs and work. If somebody comes in and says, I really like those beads, but I've got a collar that I want something to hang down, so then I'll take it apart and make something that works for what they want, and I'll keep doing it until I get it the way that that they want it, so that they're perfectly happy. So I do redos and do-overs, and
oh, great!
And,
just take them apart and do something else
I'll
to
take
match
it
it if it doesn't fit, or somebody else bought a
Right.
piece and then I see. That's
Exactly.
great. That's terrific, because sometimes I think people come up with a certain way of doing something, and that's the way it is. So it's nice that you're open. Now, did that come like naturally, or you say, oh, that's what I'll personalize it to whatever people want, or did that come out of many trial and errors? I mean, how did you come up with, all right, we'll be flexible in whatever people want to put together?
Yeah, my goal is to make people happy with what they're wearing and how they look. And I get really excited about it if they see something that they like, and if I can make it work for them, that's what's exciting to me. And I think that so often people settle for what they can find. And I think, as I mentioned, that's what I was doing to start with, and that's how I started doing this for myself, was because I really wanted to have just that right jewelry to tie a look together. And so often people spend so much time searching and searching and searching for just that right piece, but then they end up settling for something that's not really right. So that was really my intent, is to really make these pieces custom. And I make up things and I have them in the shop, things that I like this. These are things that that I like, and I hope that it will either someone else will find them attractive and want them, or it will spur some ideas from them and say, I like this style, but I need it in a different color or style or whatever. So it helps people kind of formulate their ideas too, and what they think they might like.
I see. Or like me, I like that earring, but I want it to be the clasp or the D-back or whatever it's called.
Yes.
The lever back.
Lever back,
so I don't
right.
lose the earring, because
Right.
I'm always moving so fast and I'm likely to lose the earring. So I figured if I have them that close automatically,
Yes.
the chance of it getting lost is a lot less.
Right.
Although if people have lost one of their earrings, they could always come and say, Mary,
Come
do
back,
something.
and if
do
I have
something
the
else with
beads,
this.
I'll make them back up, or I'll make something that matches. So everything is guaranteed that way. If ever anything got caught on something, heaven forbid, and broke, whatever, folks can bring it back, and I'll restring it and redo it for them.
That's great. That's great. We'll take another break. This is so lovely and fun. So thank you for bringing the jewelry.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Our guest is Mary Bassett, owner of May Beads on Park Avenue in Rochester, New York. Stay tuned.
According to estimates, over 1 billion people live in appalling levels of poverty. Denied even basic standards of food, water. Nearly half of the world's population earns less than
I'm Nannette Nocon. Our guest is Mary Bassett from May Beads and Park Avenue in Rochester, New York. So tell me about how you do your marketing, because that's important. You know, you've got good jewelry, you've got a good product, you've got a great location. How do you market?
Right. Well, I do a couple of different things. I host events at the shop around gift-giving times. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, of course, the holidays, Professional Administrative Assistance Day, which is a big day I've found for gift-giving. And I'll send out invitations to prior customers or potential customers and invite them in for maybe tea and cookies, or if I have an evening event, it might be wine and cheese or something of that nature, and maybe have a drawing to incent them to come in as well. And sometimes I will offer what I call bead bucks, and you can bring them in and get some put them towards jewelry. Mm-hmm. So I work around those kinds of gift-giving events, and also events going on in the Park Avenue area. There's several things that they have on an annual basis. The Park Avenue Festival, for example, the holiday open house along Park Avenue, and I'll build some events and promotions around those activities. And really, the purpose of that is not necessarily to get the business at that moment, but to make people aware that I'm there. I've found that in the past, the Park Avenue Festival, for example, most of my business comes after the festival, when people, they learn that I'm there, discover I'm there, and then they kind of tuck it away, and when they need something, or there's a special event or a gift-giving opportunity, they'll come back. So I found that that's very valuable way, useful way to get folks to kind of recognize that I'm there, and kind of they're kind of just exploring during those events, and then they come back when they're serious. Mm-hmm. To actually purchase things. Other marketing kinds of things, I've been taking the show on the road in some cases. I have customers that used to live in town that have moved away and that enjoy my jewelry, and I've gone out of state, brought my beads on the road, and have actually done shows in homes. Mm-hmm. And have expanded my customer base that way, because then they become, people at the shows become new customers, and then they'll contact me from a distance.
And you have a website too,
I do have a website, yes. Uh-huh. And the purpose of the website is, again, to make people aware that I'm there, what I do. I have a portfolio of some of my designs there. Mm-hmm. The goal is to get people to give me a call, or if they're local, to come in, or if they're visiting Rochester. My site is accessible from the Park Avenue Merchants Association site, and I get a lot of traffic from folks going to that site who are coming to Rochester for vacation or to visit relatives or whatever, and mm-hmm. Park Avenue is one of those spots that they tend to weave into their trips. So I use that as a tool. I don't sell products off the internet. I
was going to ask, because what made you decide not to do that? Because many people want to be able to, add to cart and then check out, and
Right. I purposely did not want the ability to purchase my jewelry in that fashion. My whole premise is the one-on-one kind of interaction, the custom designs, the interpersonal kind of interaction with the customers. So that didn't fall in line with what I was trying to accomplish with my business.
I hope our guests were able to get some ideas and tips from getting a business started, and it's really wonderful that you had took the time to share your experience with our audience today.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, our guests, for joining us. Our guest today is Mary Bassett, owner and founder of May Beads on Park Avenue in Rochester, New York. Check out her store and at Park Avenue, and also her website at www.maybeads.com. Until next time, I'm Nannette Nocon.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you have any questions for It's About Money, please email Nannette at nnocon@aol.com. This program was produced through Penfield Community Television in Penfield, New York.